I'll mark this now as the beginning. Boom! Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 20,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance, because trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, it's not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is Wayne. My friends call me Sir. Yeah. Oh, no. I have good friends. So thank you for being here, friends. Very cool. I'm trying to find like a new flow for our meetings. Less long, less rambles, although sometimes the rambles are good because we do things like trader psychology. But I want you, first and foremost, I want you to tailor make every single one of our events. So I'm going to lean on these polls. At least this is my idea right now. And we'll probably only do like 3 or 4 polls every day. And I want to know what you want me to cover. And so if you chose pound, it looks like most people are choosing euro. Okay. I will only cover euro today if that ends up being your vote. And I'll only do it, and I'll go through euro versus everything. Euro dollar, euro yen, euro Swissy, euro pound, euro Aussie, that kind of stuff. And then we'll do some commodities. Maybe if you guys want to do focus on stock market indices, and we could do another one on crypto. So we get a little bit of everything in, but we keep it tight, kind of thing, that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's try that and see that. I'm even open to trying a different time. You know. I'm open. The whole point of us is for me to serve you. So I want to know how to serve you best. So let me know. Sky Killer says, "Hey, Coach, love the stock course. Would you ever do? Oh, you mean an options course? Maybe. I think what I'll do, Sky Killer, is I'm pretty sure I'm going to add more to the stock trading course. So you might just get an email from me saying, "Hey, Sky Killer, I'm going to add some new lectures." Because there's things that have been left unsaid that I want to say. They just were not necessary at the time, but they're still, I don't feel like it's finished. So it's an ongoing work. So I'd like to add to it. And part of it is adding some options. I don't think I want to do an options course, but I want to cover options as a potential method for trading stocks. Okay, like for example, you could make almost 10% a year failing at trading stocks. Right? Yeah, we need to talk about using the methods. Yeah, Kendo. And and that's really what I want to talk about. I don't want to be do an option trading course. And I don't want to cover like gamma and theta and beta. And I don't want to go through, but I will shed some light on how you could tactically or strategically use options to trade stock, if you're going to trade stock anyways. And what I mean by you could fail at buying stock. Let's say every month you decide you want to buy the stock market 2% below the current price. You want to buy a dip. Makes sense, right? So you're like, instead of just buying it, what you do is you use an option. And let's say every single month it drops almost 2%, but never 2%. So you failed. You never actually got an entry, but you're probably up 8 to 10%. And this is actually a method. Have you ever heard of a guy named T. Boone Pickens? T. Boone, I think, has passed away now. He made billions of dollars failing at buying companies. He was an oil man, and when he was young, he tried to buy a pipeline company, and it ensued into a war, and the company didn't want to be bought, and so they defended themselves. And anyways, he went through this process. He failed at buying the company, but he made a lot of money. He ended up doing it like 20 times over and over and over again, failing at buying companies, and he made billions of dollars in the failure. He never actually bought any of the companies, but he made billions of dollars worth of profit. Yeah, cool, right? And you can actually, it's similar in options. You can do that. It's really interesting. So I might cover it to that extent. Okay. Oh, is that right, Denise? That's interesting. T-Boone Pickoff. Yeah. So you knew, yeah, so you know the story. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, T-Boone Pickens. I remember I listened to an audio book of his, and I'll remember because I was I had the penthouse at the Ritz Carlton in Lake Coney. So this beautiful Ritz Carlton on this beautiful lake. I had the whole entire penthouse. It was really cool, and I was just laying on the couch listening to T-Boone Pickens. It's funny how you can, like, a time and a place gets associated with things. So anyways, yeah. Cool. So anyways, right on. So Kendo remembers T-Boone? Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, right on, Terry. Yeah, well, Investor Boot Camp. I, I I have lots of opportunities in the groups to do those rambles as well. All right, I'm going to end the poll. Oh, T-Bone. Yeah, I call everybody with the first name T. If your name is Trevor, I'm going to call you T-Bone. Sorry. All right. So you guys want to do some euro? I can do some euro. Sure. All right. So let's go to the euro charts. And we can look at a couple of things. What do I have going on here? Oh, looks like I sold euro dollar. Oh, sweet. Okay, that's good. I didn't do it on this chart though, so this looks odd. I didn't do it here, but let's try to clean this up. All right, so WWWD, what did Wayne do? How do I have to set this up? I guess I need to do daily confluence bearish, and you'll see. All right, so I have two things. This is from the day trading group and the swing trading group. So last night and last week, one of the things I pointed out was this. And you can see I had a plan A, sell euro dollar at the central pivot point at the top of resistance. Plan B, sell it up here. See, it's not executed. It's still a limit order. So first thing I want to do is I want to cancel this. Cancel that. All right, so I'm in this trade. I've already managed my risk, so my loss is minimal. I'm short at the weekly central pivot point, and I need to expand out my limit order because that had to do with the day trade. You see, so it's a day trade. Let me zoom in here. Okay, you see, sell, and then the target is here, just above the conservative target. But I want to make this a swing trade now that the trade is profitable, and I don't want it to be a day trade. So I have to put it just above the target because remember I have to cover my spread to be taken out. See, an amateur right will do this. And then in situations where it comes down and then up, they call the broker like, you screwed up, you didn't take me out, you didn't do my blah, 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 wah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. You didn't cover your spread. It has to go below for you to be taken out. So when you're short, you want to put it just in front, just above where you actually want to be taken out, so that when you come down and hit the actual price, you also cover your spread and it takes you out. Okay, so anywho. So there's some hope there. And if it fails, then I can always think about it and take another one. What do you guys think? Do you like it, not like it? Do you agree, disagree? What are your thoughts? Okay, the other way of looking at what I did is this. I call that a role reversal. I also want to point out that in the swing trading group, and I suppose even the day trading group yesterday, because day trading meets on Sundays, we talked about sort of, I don't have strong conviction right now for one way or the other because there's cross currents going on. And one of the strategies we talked about was splitting your risk. So you can see I have a risk management issue going on right now too. You notice instead of a mini lot, which I usually trade on this account, because this is my coaching account, usually I throw down a mini lot, but one of the strategies I covered at Investor Bootcamp, and once again, I invite you to join. I honestly believe those groups will help you as a trader. That's the primary objective. Not for me to buy a yellow Lamborghini with your money. I really honestly believe these groups are helpful. So I want you to join. So one of the things we covered because of my sort of lack of conviction is I put half the trade here and half the trade there. Instead of risking a full lot, I put a half a lot here and a half a lot there. And then sort of spread it out. Cool. So just saying, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, you know, that's how you do it. That's how you've been trained. All right. Let's take a look. Well, Aussie's a weak one. CAD's a strong one, so we'll take a look at this. And you can see overnight CAD has been stronger than Euro. And you can see what's going on here. Let me clean up this chart and put it into a similar daily confluence bearish. Supreme FX is Wayne, but I'm in the group, but it seems too difficult for beginners. For which one, Supreme FX? Are you in the day trading group or the swing trading group? Okay. Looking at CAD yen while he answers that question, you can see lower low, lower high sell, lower low. Okay, great. Okay, Supreme FX, great. Bring that up on Wednesday. I will do what it takes to help to help you. That's what that group is for. It can be very interactive. So like tomorrow, we're going through all the reports. Okay. So if you have questions, I'm wide open to the questions. Honestly, I don't get a lot of questions. So ask questions. On Thursday, we do the trade planning, which is technically focused. Once again, ask questions. Okay, well, we can cover that quickly then. Okay. But I'm honest, whatever. I will help. Now that's easy. Like usually well, first of all, I'm assuming you're taking all the training courses, in particular the swing. Okay, it's 100 hours, but make sure you go through like the swing trading. Most people have done it multiple times. But I'll tell you, here's what I mean. When it comes to things like setting up pivots, it's just you don't know how to use MT4 or MT5. So I don't know if you've done the MT4, MT5 course. I'm pretty sure it covers how to install indicators. But here's what most people do. And look, in my part of the world, everybody just uses YouTube. You don't know how to do something, just pull up YouTube. Where do I install my indicators, right? And you're done. But let's say you don't use YouTube and all that kind of stuff. When you run the installer, it says, where is your MT4 folder? So you go to File, Open Folder, Open Data Folder. And there it is. There's my location. So you grab this. Okay, copy address. Done. See, that's where my folder is. Yeah, probably, Ken, probably. MT4 will probably be there soon. Yeah. So it'll be MT5. But yeah, but either way, like you just have to understand the basics. Where is your MT4 or where is your MT5 installed? Where on your computer? So what most people do is they just when the installer file says, where do I install it? Most people that don't understand the question just hits next. So when you run the installer, you end up installing all the files in your download folder. Well, your MT5 or your MT4 is not in your download folder, right? So anyway, so you just copy this and you put that into where it says where is it installed, and then it does everything else for you. So it's super simple. Supreme FX. Okay, that's probably it. Oh, my mouse is really struggling today. My Death Thader X hyper speed burns batteries like crazy. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So look, you won't be left behind. Okay, look, but if you struggle still, send an email there. Ryan will take care of you. It should be a 3-minute or a 3-minute thing. Okay. So anyways, Euro CAD guys, you missed today's day trade already. So this is maybe a follow-up trade. But if you're missing these setups here, you're just not trading properly. That's all. You missed it. Like lower low, lower high, off the moving average, off the sell zone, off the central pivot for the month, off the central pivot for the week. If you didn't sell it, you're either a bull or you don't know what you're doing. or you're not trading Euro CAD, which is perfectly fine. But like, dude, that's as legit as it gets. Okay. Right? Very, very simple stuff. Most likely you're not doing those trades, but like this time of year, you're going to get a lot of cross trades, cross pairs like Euro CAD, Euro Aussie, and other times of the year you would not. And the idea of it comes from QuantBox. Okay, like for example, I covered QuantBox. And over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've had mixed. There's no underlying intrinsic trend for the last 2 or 3 weeks. If there's no underlying intrinsic trend, then you're going to trade cross pairs. If there is an intrinsic underlying trend, you're not going to trade cross pairs. You're going to trade trending pairs. Because you're either trading a trend or the relative strength. Very rarely are you going to do both. Yeah. Yeah, well, a simple, but people don't tend to do it. What most people do is trade the same thing every day. So for example, and with this idea of like, I'll only cover currency pairs in the poll, here's the problem with that. There's a high probability that every single day, the group, the aggregate, will always pick Euro. And that's not the right answer. So I may not be able to do a poll because I don't want to get the same thing over and over and over again. All right. All right. Pound, Euro pound. Okay. That's the trade right there. M3 to M1. That's the trade for the entire month of January. And this is important to bring out because very often what happens, wow, my mouse is really dying. Hopefully I can get through the session. What happens is, for some reason, newer traders are only interested in it now on that candle. I'm like, dude, why didn't you sell up here? Okay, there's another one here. There's another one here. The blue circles are where you're supposed to be selling. And very often what happens is now this becomes bullish to a lot of traders. And by and large, you're either very, very, very late and selling at support, or you start selling and then it bounces and goes up. Now, it'll probably head down here. I even have a line. I have this drawn, like I have that drawn. I have this drawn. And then, of course, we know the pattern. So again, very, 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 very basic combination of swing trading and day trading. But most people don't look at the longer time frames like a daily or a 4-hour. Like doing a day trade for combining day trading with swing trading. Okay, you sell here, and this is your target. Well, that was last week, the middle of last week. Middle of last week. And right? And then a whole bunch of people are now interested. Well, we're at support, bro. You don't sell at support, you sell high, not low. So that's where, like, I really want you to be on the clue train at these points here. And that's what we teach at Investor Bootcamp. Okay, see, Supreme FX, I can answer it, but what you just said to me is you didn't take the training course. Okay, but these are monthly. See, MR1, monthly R1, MM3, monthly M3, MPP. Okay, These are daily candles with monthly pivots. Yeah. But you got to master it, bro. You got to master it. Okay? But here's the so like here's another way of looking at it. Here's the strategy. M3 to M1 is your bearish strategy. Then from inside of that, you're doing like day trading and swing trading. Okay? And so you'd be down, 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 up, up, sell, 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 down and out. Okay? And then you look at maybe sort of newer traders, it's up for 2 days, so they want to buy it. It's been up for 1 day, all day, huge bullish day, so they want to buy it. No, 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 that's just wrong. Cool. Anywho. Euro Aussie, well, Aussie's weak and Euro is performing better versus Aussie than all the others, but I wouldn't call this bullish. But we do have a pattern in play. Okay, and this gets interesting. Are you ready? This is where bulls buy. This is where bears sell. This is where amateurs trade. So you're either going to do this or you're going to do this. Which one's right? Well, that we don't know. You can put down your best guess, you can do your best research, you can do everything you can, but you don't know the future. But I can tell you, those that trade in here are probably going to lose money. So you either have to be a bear and sell at bearish prices, or a bull and buy at bullish prices. But don't be here. So you're already like 2 days late on this. That's the sad thing, right? You should be up here above 166. So you're already 100 pips late. Like, golly, gee whiz, Batman. You're more than 100 pips late. Well, then you're probably not on the clue train, right? And then down here, you should be long at 161.5, right? Or we'll just call it 162. There's no perfect entry. You should be long at 162 or short at 166. It even went to 167 for a while. Like, you're just really hundreds of pips late. Well, in the training course, I teach you to be better than that. And you're like, well, how do I know to do this? How do I know to sell there? How do I know to buy there? Well, you knew before you even got there. You knew a week in advance. That's how you do it. You're like, wait, what? You knew a week in advance? Uh-huh. Did I know it was going to fall? No. But I knew to be ready, willing, and able for it to fall. And if I was a bear, I'd take a shot, drop a stop, and take a walk. Oh, for show. Okay? Yeah. That's how you do it. Okay? Okay? So I'll point this out. I'll tell you what. This is the most bullish pivot we have. If you're a bear, you're going to sell here and here. So can I anticipate? Can I anticipate in the future, if we go up to this price, that it could fall? So if your answer to that is yes, well, then I should be ready, willing, and able, I don't know, here to take a shot to the south side. Cool. I just predicted the future. Is that going to happen? I have no idea. I just know what I'm going to do. I know my intent. Do I know if that's going to happen? Niet. But look how beautiful it'll be at that time. Okay, if that happens. Okay, look at this. Okay. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I got a pocket full of pips and my homeboys do too. Yeah. Cool, right? So I'd look at that and I'd say, oh, I guess I'm a bear. Cool, right on. Now you may disagree with that. That's totally awesome because I don't know the future as well. I would say I wouldn't necessarily want to buy a dip technically, but you might have your reason and rationale. We call that your alpha. And so if you were going to be a bull, that's the price you'd buy. Now, I don't like buying lower lows. I really don't. Sometimes you just got to do what needs to get done, right? Nobody wants to charge up the hill and take out the pillbox. It's dangerous. Sometimes you got to do what's got to get done. But generally, I don't want you to buy low. 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 I do want you to buy low in an uptrend. But as soon as you get lower low, lower high, you stop. So you never, 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 never is kind of how I roll. And by never, like almost never. My never is almost never. Right. So then what's sort of more of a proper way? Okay. Sell the lower high, sell the lower high, sell the lower high. There's different measures of this. Sell the lower high, sell the lower high. So I'd say if we get up here, it's potentially I could sell the lower high. So you want the little drop and then that lower high and then boom, 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 boom. And if that holds, if it holds, then we're heading down here. Now, whoever bought here is taking on a lot of risk, but maybe they know something that I don't know. Once again, we call that alpha. So if they know more than I know, then what will happen is it'll go all the way up here because there's no bears pushing back. That's the bearish Alamo. That's the last stand for bears. It'll come down here. But of course, the bears will be wrong because the bulls know something that I don't know. And then we are slowly but surely on our way there. So which one is right? I don't know, but I usually, almost always, 99% of the time, I want to trade the direction of the existing trend. Unless I know something they don't know. Morning, Maida. So, you see? Is this good? Good coach? Coaching the goodness? Yeah. Well, I hope you click the thumbs up. But you know what would be cool? Is if every person just put a comment below the recording after we're done today. Wouldn't it be cool if every single person here stayed an extra 1 minute? Let the video do its thing, and then you refresh the page, and now the recording is up. Not the live stream, the recording. And you just said something. I think it'd be cool. I think it would be awesome. Honestly, if you had, if you did that, maybe that helps the YouTube algorithm. Okay, right on, man. Thank you, KL. So I don't know. This YouTube thing is quirky, I would say. All right, so let's do some commodities. And let's see. I'm going to do a poll. You guys ready? Get your typing fingers ready, or finger. What commodity do you want me to cover today? Okay, and I am only going to do, well, yeah, okay, so your choices are WTI, XAU, and BTC. Okay, majority rules. We'll get there. I'll do stock markets next. That's why I didn't put it in there. Oh, thank you, Kando. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see your votes. All right, first 30 is declared the winner. All right, my WTI. See, I always wait for 30 votes because statistically, you need a sample size of a minimum of 30 for it to actually be statistically relevant. Okay, cool. Interesting. I'm not sure why, but I was long these and I'm not long them anymore. Interesting. There must have been a spread spike in here somewhere. Interesting. I'll have to take a look. I thought I had one stop quite a bit lower than, but anyways, mismanagement on my stop. Boo-hoo. All right, so let's take a look. My WTI. First thing to acknowledge is the trend. Trends can be very subjective. So I invented something called, okay, you go to indicators, you go to custom, and then you go here, something called price action pivot points. It doesn't use the market to determine pivot points, it uses price. Okay, and you can say they're currently over the last 55 4-hour candles or over the last 55 days, depending on your point of view, there's a trend. So you could do things like, measure this out this way and then drop into the smaller time frame and say the general force is down, but the current force is up. Okay, and so you might be thinking this way. And if I can get my mouse to work, I'm really struggling. Okay, and that's based on price action. So one thing you could, in theory, think about is that the general trend, so we'll do the mean here, gets to the blue line, which I can't quite stretch to, and then down. Up until 75 to 76. and then down back to whatever the mean then. Can I do gold next? No. Sorry, Don Pablo. You got to bring your gold bug friends with you. Okay. Now, I also like, is this the right tool or is it another? Yeah. Okay. I like the tighter one in here. So you can see on this angle, if you were going to use that measurement, there is some plausibility that we're overpriced now and then down. So your choice is, if you're going with the longer term analysis, you're going this way, right? And at some point, what you want to do is see a break. Now, I think there's a high possibility, and I know it's early. So here's the thing. Those that are members of QuantBox already can have not predictive, but analytical analysis of past performance. Doesn't predict future results, but you do know the history very well. And you can say, well, you're bullish for whatever your bullish reasons are, but it's too soon. And so there could be sort of that kind of thing setting up, but you are very interested in the idea of like one day you could be above this trend, the downtrend. And that will give you the definitely confidence in the green light, and that would confirm the seasonality. Okay. So at some point, you got to mix your fundamentals with your technicals. So again, subscribers to QuantBox will understand better than people that don't subscribe to QuantBox the cycle and shape of the oil complex. Yeah, so Kendo is saying that looks horrible to the down. Depends on how you look at it. So with some additional information, someone that is bullish, not today, but in general, would look at this and go, oh God, that's becoming very bullish. So you're looking at it like, oh my God, it's hard down. Yes, it has been. Yes, it has been, and it's not unusual. But what you may not see is much of the market is positioning itself over time to do stuff like this. And if that occurs, those people that are pushing the market up are thinking 100. Well, they're thinking 90, then they're thinking 100, and then they're thinking 120. And you're like, wait, what? Yeah, so it has been bearish for weeks. Yeah, well, that ship may have sailed. And there are definitely real market participants that are thinking this. And I can prove it quantitatively. And so you're trying to combine, if that happens, when is it happening? Okay? And you can witness the flow of capital. So at FX Bootcamp, they do a lot of, capital flows in the last 2 hours. When I'm doing capital flows, I'm doing week over week, but also sort of monthly, quarterly. And when you combine these things, they help you to more accurately predict the future. Of course, you can't predict the future, but you can create scenarios in which your trading and investing are aligned. And I'm teaching you, and I always have, the idea of you create your narrative first, and then you are able to put this into context of a story. And then from the story, you put rational logic, almost like programming. If, okay, then. But if you have no idea this is the right shoulder, if you will, of a double bottom, and you don't know the seasonality of the energy complex, you're like, Wayne, what does that mean? Well, who buys WTI? Right? Well, we have Jim. Jim's got some WTI, right? Who buys crude? Refineries. See the logic here? Okay. Who buys WTI? Refineries. Wouldn't it be nice to know when they typically buy what we call feeder stock so that they can create products like gasoline? Well, if you knew that, you would more accurately predict the future than just trading a moving average. Well, then you could really change this narrative. When do retail gasoline stations need lots of gasoline? Summer driving season. When do they need to place those orders? When are those, okay? So then, when are those orders received? When does the refinery anticipate to receive gasoline orders? How long does it take for them to crack WTI, pump it through heater treaters and all that kind of stuff, and produce gasoline? And they have to do it in advance because the demand for gasoline could spike. So all of a sudden you go from a moderate level of gasoline needed to above moderate level, in this case, maybe an extreme demand. So you need to, maybe weeks or months in advance, buy your WTI, run it through your refinery. So you got to put it through your heater treater, okay? And you crack it, you create your product, and then you got to put your product in inventory. Then you receive your orders, and then you got to put it through the distribution. In this case, it comes in by a pipeline and goes out by truck, so on and so forth, right? Eventually, it's got to get to the gas station, and eventually you show up, okay, and you pump it into your tank. Well, somebody had to make that decision well in advance to create that product for you. It even had to be sucked out of the ground 5 miles below your feet. It makes landing on the moon seem easy. Okay, great. So if you had a full appreciation for this, you're like, oh yeah, this is fallen, yeah, dropped onto the right shoulder of a double bottom at a psychological level of 70. Next move is 100. I don't know if that's what you're doing. So one of the courses I'm most proud of is that oil trading course. And with a better appreciation for what you're trading, it becomes less of a video game and more of a logical decision-making process of, do you want to own WTI? Yes. When? Well, the first thing is the price, because remember that you only have price, which is here. Oops. Price is here, and then time. So, okay, there's your time. So, price and time. This is potentially a decent price, this $60 to $70. That's why I have it all purpled out, because we know that's a double bottom. So you're like, that's a reasonable price. Okay, is that the right time? Well, time is then determined by technical analysis. And how about like higher high, higher low? Yeah. What about higher high, higher low? Yeah. And so somewhere in here might be the right time with based off the right price. 69, 70, 72, and at some point you're going for 100. But you see how much more it is than a moving average or an oscillator? If you're going to, I mean, like, think about trading and investing. It's fairly straightforward. You need to know absolutely everything in the entire world: economics, politics, geopolitics. Okay? And then you need to accurately predict the future every single day. Oh, and then you use technical analysis. So like you can trade a 5A cross. Well, if you can't trade a 5A cross, you're doomed, because you can't even execute a strategy. Unfortunately, most people don't get past tactics. So all they're doing is like, what does the MACD tell me? What does this, right? What does the stochastics tell me? What does the moving average tell you? Nothing. It tells you what has already happened. So how do you accurately predict the future every single day? You have to have a sense of past. You have to have good data. You have to have an understanding of current. You have to understand the market participants. You have to understand sentiment. And then once you get that understanding of the market and the sentiment in the market by other market participants, then you line up your technical analysis. And you'll have a better appreciation for things like, well, what does a double bottom look like on a long time frame? Okay. What does this tell me if I'm a bull? What's the price target? Does anybody know? If that holds, okay, then what price? Does anybody have a price? You can predict the future. I don't know if you can accurately predict the future because we don't know the future, but you should be able to analyze this and give me the logical outcome. And then you can also tell me the logical price in which that outcome would fail. Give me a price, Kando. Roughly speaking, it could be, doesn't have to be precise. Give me the general. I don't know if you can see it well on your screen. So maybe I'll just tell you. Okay, let's just call it $78.50. Okay, if we do not, okay, if 74 holds, if 74 is resistance, then then we're dropping down into the 60s. Yeah, you can't see on the chart. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So I put it out there. So it's like this. Look, what is in play right now is this. Do we know if that's going to work? Well, that's not the trend, but see, I'm thinking outside the trend. I'm thinking about the future as much as I'm analyzing the past. But if the past performance does continue for now, because we're early in the cycle, then it's going to do this. There is no other. That's the part I want you to get to. There is no other scenario. Oh, but what if no? No. But no. It's one or the other, or you'll never make a decision. You need to be hardcore on your decision. So, of course, the market can do anything. You see what I mean? The market can do anything. We know that. Now, there's usually logic behind it, but nonetheless, there's things that are unpredictable. There are things that are predictable. A government official could say something different. A Hutu with an RPG can change the whole game, which makes no sense to me, but whatever. Okay, we know we actually cannot predict the future. As much as we do our technical and fundamental, you cannot predict the future. However, you can have reasonable, rational assumptions, and then you can confirm or deny with your technical analysis. But if you can't even get if you can't figure out the rationale for being bullish or bearish, and you're using oscillators to make decisions for you, you will fail. That's it. You're done, dusted. People are going to mow you over and your ass is grass. Right? Like they just have better information. And if you have better information and you're making more intelligent, informed decisions, you're just a better trader, a better investor, and you're being out hustled and outworked. Right? And you're not competing in a competitive market. Well, that's very inspiring and uplifting, Wayne. I really want to thank you for making me feel good about myself. Well, it's supposed to be inspirational. Up your game, bro. Yeah. Get on it. Huh? Time to put on your big girl panties and girl up. Yeah, that's cool. But how do you feel like when I give speeches like that? Does it irk you? Do you get mad at me? Do you feel bad? Does it right? Or do you feel bad about yourself? Or do you like how I'm trying to get an emotional response. But some people will get motivated. You're like, dude, yeah, I'm the fighter. I need you to be that person, in fact. I need you to be that person. I need you to, to get strong. This is a tough gig. It's a tough gig. Now, I don't believe it's, and I've changed this over the years, over 20 years. I'd say the biggest change, oh my God, it's snowing. I just saw like 5 snowflakes. Oh my God. It's snowing in Atlanta. Okay. Anyways, it's going to make my cigar smoking adventure today interesting. All right. So, yeah, we were talking about the strength, right? I want you to double down on your research. I want you to double down on building conviction. Many of you, if not most of you, have spent years on the smaller time frames perfecting your technical analysis. And I love you for it. It's a must-have skill. But if you find you're inconsistent, it's okay. It's okay. We'll fix that. You're okay. You're doing fine. What most people do, though, is they don't understand their strengths and weaknesses. So what happens is they're not getting consistency, so they change their techniques. They go from MACD to stochastics. Then they throw out stochastics, and then they go to RSI. And then they see some idiot on YouTube that says, oh, no, it's all about the CCI. Oh, it's all about the ADX. Really? All right, so then you switch to the ADX, and maybe, and it's good, and it's helpful, and it's neat, and you try that for a while, and then you throw that out. Do you understand they're all good? You're asking the wrong question. Elon Musk quotes a famous author, but I didn't read this guy. But do you know what the meaning of life is? The meaning of the universe? 42. And you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Because asking what the meaning of the universe is the wrong question. If the answer is 42, you got to figure out what the question is. I kind of like that. You're like, you're asking the wrong question. The one that I use in that example that would agree with Elon on this one is that many people, many scientists are trying to find how to make a rocket travel across the universe at the speed of light. It's the wrong question. You can't travel at the speed of light. You would destroy the rocket. So you should create a warp drive. Because you're not going to be able to do it with speed. You need to be able to cross the universe without the spaceship moving. Mind explosion. But you have to ask the right questions. So your technical analysis, if you spent a couple of years working on it, it's good, man. You're good. Let me tell you, you're a good trader. But now you have to ask better questions. You have to ask the right questions. And the right questions are, in what context do I use this technical analysis? Right? In what context? And it helps you kind of aim. You have to know the fundamentals. It's like let's use another space one, because I used to work at NASA. Yeah, I worked at the NASA Ames Research Center in Moffett Field, California. All right, so you have the Earth, and you have the moon. And you want to send a rocket ship there. Cool. So what an amateur will do is say, okay, you build a rocket and boom, you shoot it to the moon. What happens in this case if you did this? What would happen to your astronauts? They would be in space for eternity. They would float in space for 1 billion years, 100 billion years, because they would never hit the moon. So now you have to ask the questions of like, okay, where on Earth are you? How fast is it spinning? And how fast is it spinning? Does anyone know? I think it's 5,000 miles an hour, isn't it? So you have to calculate for that. And then how fast is the moon spinning? But how fast is the moon rotating? And using all that information, maybe your rocket should be here and you should shoot it this way. Okay? and eventually you meet up with the moon that comes around this way. Oops, that was supposed to be pink. Okay, this way. Oops. But then you hit the moon doing 10,000 miles an hour. And, well, your spaceship probably can't survive that. So, either you then change your angle, so this one, so that you hit this. Come on. Drawing tool's fighting me, and my mouse ain't working. So that you kind of do this, wow, wow, and then you land. Or you shoot it the other way, and, you know, right? It's going this way, and you catch up with it. And if you're moving 5,001 mile an hour and it's moving 5,000 miles an hour, you can land gently. But this idea of like, oh, there's the moon, let's shoot a rocket, you'll never hit it. You're asking, you're setting, your whole setup is wrong. You don't understand the, the science around where you are in space-time. But maybe you have a kick-ass rocket. You need more than that. So, Wayne, help me understand what you're talking about. Okay, maybe your technical analysis is your kick-ass rocket. It flies fast. It's got enough power to get outside of the gravitational forces of the Earth. Great. But there's still that other aspect of now you need to know the science of getting where you intend to go. And to me, that's the fundamental truth of the universe. Well, what we're talking about in Forex, technically you have a great rocket. Technically, you know how to trade very well, but you're inconsistent. So you don't throw out the good with the bad. So this something like FX Bootcamp now with performance coaching helps you uncover. Great. So you know your strengths and weaknesses, but you just got to hang on to the 2 or 3 or 4 things that really work well for you in your decision-making process, and then leave that. Don't keep changing and changing and changing. You'll never get any strengths. So you have your basic technical analysis, and then now you got to ask different questions. Where in the season are we? Where is the demand coming from? If I buy this asset, where is the new money coming from? How do I line this up so I get somewhere in the future beyond just shooting a rocket 100 feet? Like a kid's rocket, you fire it, it goes 100 feet into the air, and then a little parachute comes out. Well, if you're going to hit Saturn, oh my God, you know how hard that is? You need a lot more. Do you know how hard it is just to get in upper orbit? Okay? Like really, even the International Space Station's not really in space. It's just in upper orbit. It just happens to be going 5,000 miles an hour. If it went 4,900 miles an hour, it would crash into the Earth. It's not even in space. That's how far space is, right? So once you get a context of, okay, where are you on Earth? How fast is it spinning? Where's your target? What's its orbit? How fast is it moving? You got to do all these calculations. And then if you want to get to Jupiter, well, you're going to have to aim for Mars, skip off the atmosphere of Mars, pick up some speed from the gravitational forces of Mars, and then it slingshots you off to Saturn. Oh my God, the science behind it. But again, they're not talking about building a faster rocket. So your technical analysis, you don't have to be the sharpest tool in the shed. You just have to be proficient with some basic level of technical analysis. And I'm telling you, some moving averages, maybe one oscillator, get to know some pivot points. You got to know price action. But you don't have to be a rocket surgeon. Okay? Then, where in space-time are you? Well, where in price time are you? And that's the thing, like if you're going to trade WTI, but you don't understand the business cycle of refineries, then you don't know who even buys WTI. You don't know why they buy WTI. And therefore, you're supposed to be able to predict the future demand for WTI, but you don't understand where demand comes from or why it appears, then there's no way you're going to be successful. I or everybody else that does know will run you over like a freight train, and it won't even be funny. Because you're not asking the right questions. You're proficient in technical analysis, but after a while, if you go through a period of mediocrity or even losses because you don't understand the fundamentals, what'll happen is you'll change everything you're doing right in your technicals, and now you're doing nothing right in your technicals. If you can't be successful with RSI, you're not going to be successful with stochastics. And if you're not successful with either of those, you're not going to be successful with CCI. And if you're not successful with those three, you're not going to be successful with ADX. You're asking all the wrong questions. Just pick one, learn it, and that's good enough, bro. It's an oscillator. They all do the same thing, overbought or oversold. Put it in the context of the market now. They're price indications of overbought and oversold. Great. But if you don't understand the context of where in space-time you are, you're not going to hit the moon, yet alone Mars or Jupiter. Forget about it. It's not going to happen. You're just going to get spinning. You remember those guys in Superman 1, the bad guys that get put into the mirror and thrown into space? Dude, that was pretty advanced for the 80s. That might even been 1979 or something, huh? But yeah, just spinning out there in space and infinity. Okay? So trust me, you're probably good enough. So I'm going to make some tweaks and we're going to increase your performance. Join Investor Bootcamp, get training videos. It's $88. Come on. But if you're at a higher level than that and you're still finding inconsistency and you need refinement, go to FX Bootcamp. It's all personal coaching. And at insanely, ridiculously affordable prices. We'll get you fixed up, bro. So I think that's it. It's Monday. Oh, the market. I got to go. The market's open. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Remember, wait 30 seconds, refresh your page, leave a comment in the section if you loved what I said, hated what I said, right? If I'm an idiot, let me know. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Cheers.